This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
Hi, I'm co-founder of hibot. At hibot, we provide platform for businesses to build and host their chatbots. Chatbots itself, they are not revolutionary. They have been there, but it is relevant today because 90% of consumers that use smartphones today use messaging apps as a popular app. And chatbots are the way for them to interact with businesses. And based on what we believe, in next 3 to 5 years, every business would require a chatbot available to assist their customers. And that's where hibot comes in. At hibot, we created a platform that will enable our customers to build and launch a chatbot almost instantly. And we provide them tools with analytics, understanding the content funnels, how and the visitors are performing, and follow-up conversations, getting the lead deliveries to their CRM system, and a range of services that help them to stay on top of this new channel that can be very valuable to a business. And with over 50 million small businesses that are there on Facebook, they all can consume a chatbot today. And it is a huge market opportunity. And already in China, about 30% of payments happen over WeChat platform, and that's what Facebook is trying to replicate. And at hibot, we already have a platform, and we are very focused on giving very natural conversation for customers using artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we are looking for customers to run the pilot programs.
Okay, cool. You will go. So I think you were pitching much more about the concept than the business. And I think it's an interesting business, but you were trying to convince me, I think, that I should invest in this industry, in this sector, chatbots, and the fact that businesses, you're right, are gonna be hosting them, many of them, you're right.
Sure.
So the idea is good, but you were talking a lot about the idea and the concept, rather than your particular business.
Space, yeah.
So, and the whole idea is going to be, for a while, is going to be sufficient to say, if you're the first mover into an industry, that's the kind of pitch you want to make. I'm not sure that you're quite the first mover anymore. I mean, I think there's businesses doing similar things. It's still really early.
Yes, the overall platform is in very early stage.
Yeah.
And whosoever had made some gains, they got acquired by Facebook, Google, and Amazon. So there is a good amount of opportunity, and based on our customer trials so far, we have provided an open platform for everybody, and that has not fared well because small business really cannot cope up with it.
I
so
think
we
that's what, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
go-
No, go ahead. Finish
So
your
we
thought.
have learned from that lessons, and we made it into 4 packages. That is, hey, you want to do appointments, you want to do e-commerce, you want to do web scraping and make it as a bot, or you want to do online reviews. So we took a platform, had different offerings that would sell for small businesses. At the same time, for medium to large scale businesses, they really look it as a platform. So we have an advanced platform where they can manage the platform themselves.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to,
I got
I
it.
understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to help you with is the way in which you're pitching it.
Sure.
Which, again, I think it was much more, the emphasis that you gave was on the concept. And I think that's great. But if you're an investor who's thinking about maybe investing in this space, you're doing a good job. But I'm not sure that investors are going to feel that that it is the right time to invest necessarily in this. So I think the kind of pitch that you were giving is a pitch for a company that is trying to get into a space maybe that doesn't exist. I think your space is a little bit more advanced. So what I would have done is emphasize what you just were telling me now,
Right.
which is, there are these businesses out there, these big enterprises who are building chatbots. You can do that. But I'm focusing on a segment that is not really, that has no solution, which is the small businesses. And this is why. And I think I would have loved to hear a little bit more about
I agree with you.
So yeah, so like I was going to say close to the same thing, which means we're wrong in the same way. Like our company today, we sell to small and medium-sized businesses. And I think if I walked into them and I said, what do you think of chatbot technology? They would be like, I don't know what that is. Like they would have been, how many of y'all really know what a chatbot is? And if you raise your hand and say yes, I might call on you and ask you to explain it. All right? So not a lot of people, right? But when you see it, it's pretty badass, pretty cool, right? And like, I think that at the end, you got to where you had kind of a differentiated market proposition that said, we help small businesses use chatbot technology to drive positive reviews on review sites. Okay, so if I go into my customers and I said, hey man, I've got this thing in the box that will help you get more reviews, positive reviews, he's interested. He wants to know what's there. But if you tell him, hey, I have chatbot technology, I think he's going to be like, you know, I've lived all these years without chatbot technology, and I sort of feel like I'm going to try and steer down the road without it. And so I think evangelizing the concept is probably not going to help you seem differentiated in terms of what your company does. Whereas if you can articulate a specific value proposition that leverages the technology, that leverages the concept, leverages what you've built, that creates economic value for a customer set, I think you'd get a little further in the initial thing. Because your pitch, which is good, you're a good communicator, like you seem likable, all that sort of thing, it wasn't like especially differentiated to me. You know, that was my take.
And I think one way to do that is to focus on the particular problem that a small business is trying to solve.
Right.
So, for example, people come to my website, I have a small business, and they keep asking questions about this topic. And you know, I don't have enough money to hire somebody to be answering those questions on the phone, so I have a chatbot that is answering these set of questions for this particular problem. That's what they care about. That's what a business cares about, not about the fact that it's a chatbot. It's just the fact that you can solve a problem in a way in which they currently can't. Yeah. So if you talk about it that way, you de-emphasize the technology, somebody will get it. They get the fact that you have innovative technology, but then not only customers but investors also will be interested in the fact that you're solving a real problem.
Okay. Hey, Travis, what did you think?
I actually liked it because I think it is in line with the current trend that a lot of businesses are adopting. Maybe you should focus less on small businesses and more on larger companies, maybe middle market companies that don't have big tech teams, but ones that still are interested in this domain and can understand it more than a small business.
Sure.
That's a very good point. I think the next set of questions that an investor that wants to talk to you are going to be like, is this market big enough? Are you going to be able to get to these people? Can you make money from small businesses? Do they care? The mid-sized businesses might care, and like he said, they don't have the team to implement them, and you can help them.
Yes, exactly, and we are seeing the same traction. If I talk to small business, they do not resonate it with well, but there are now Domino's, CNN, Wall Street Journal, and some of the local businesses who are mid-size are interested in getting ahead there. So we see the same thing.
Cool. Who would like to tell the group what a chatbot is? I think the guy in the back left, sir. Do you want to tell the group what a chatbot is? You seem to know. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, stand up.
Pretty much it aggregates common questions to people when you deal with customers. What's your address? What's your customer account number? It takes those common questions, what problem are you having today? And because when you really think about the billions of people on Earth and how much, the questions we ask in terms of interacting with a company, you can really boil them down to probably several hundred variations, and it just streamlines all of that. So instead of dealing with a person that you're paying 10, 15, 20 an hour, it's a computer that, again, like you said, has machine learning, so it gets smarter as it goes, as it interacts with people. It remembers their responses, it remembers their questions, and then it also creates a backlog to keep track of those conversations in perpetuity forever. So again, it gets smarter and smarter and learns more and more as it goes, and it really simplifies the interaction. And obviously, I don't think it'll ever replace entirely a customer service rep, but it at least supplements quite a bit, and that most interaction can probably be solved with a few simple answers, and then the ones that are a little bit more complex would probably escalate to an actual person.
How about this guy? Yeah. Hey.
That's very cool.
Good. Who wants to say something? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that stuck in my mind in this introduction was talking about analytics. product can be embedded within the system that the company already has or not would be critical. But using this unstructured data, not only is this so that you can get a review that will be open to the public, but in the long term for the company in terms of what holes they might have that they can fix, that ultimately can help the company in the long term. Because obviously analytics is a big thing this day. It's not going away. And I think if there's a way that you can embed that and make that a useful tool, I think that would really be a problem solver for customers in terms of how do I get from my analytics and get closer to my customers, which is really what it's about.
That's good. Anybody else? Yeah, man.
I was just going to add something to the description of chatbots. Another way to think of it might be as a much more expressive or flexible phone tree. Like we use in very similar situations, but the platform is much broader. Like it can be used from a computer or a phone. You could even probably use text to speech and make it a phone tree if you wanted. And then you get all these other added benefits. You get the backlog. You can do machine learning, data mining on even the text responses. You can do sentiment analysis, figure out how people are feeling about things, change it, stuff like that.
You know that director of marketing you're trying to hire? I think that guy's a candidate.
If it's close to me, so I know him, I can.
Yeah. Okay, Ryan.
As a former owner of a digital agency, I would like to make a point that your platform could be interesting for companies like mine.
Yeah.
We already have small businesses.
Right.
We kind of know what kind of products this particular business needs and what kind of product that business needs. Then you could see which products get traction through these middlemen, the agencies, and then you could offer these products, like the best products, directly. And the second question I have, or not a question, not a comment, like it was said here, this is the technology that is getting traction. Why you are the company that will be the winner? Who are the people behind you that will make your team and your platform stand out against, I don't know, Google or big competitors?
So that's a very good question. Why we are the differentiator versus rest of the world. So we have team of MBA, and I myself have about 15 years of experience working in different product lines across different domains. And my last job where we built a product got quite success and got taken over. As well as when we started over this, we just didn't say we will build a bot platform. We built a bunch of bots and we ran them across hundreds of users. And we have seen what stuff works, what is happening. We have done a detailed analysis of what are the things a bot should do. And from there we learned it, and then we started a group for Charlotte Bots and AI Meetup group, and then we participate at a national level, talk about conferences, at bond conferences, we stay in touch with community. So with all that interest, we said, okay, we understand the platform better, we have the capability to develop it, and that's how we actually started working on it.
So the conceit behind this event is it sort of mimics what it's like if you get the magic 2 minutes to talk to somebody who can write checks about your company, right? And what a lot of investors will tell you is that they principally invest in the people behind the business, not the idea behind the business, right? And I felt like what you just said about yourself was like, I was like, wow, hey man, I like that better than the whole thing about the chatbot, right? Because I was like, I think I'm talking to a guy who understands. I think you're in the top 3 people in the room who understands chatbots, right? I was kidding, those guys. But I feel like when you get that moment, if you say, look, I'm a world expert in this thing, and I'm really great at this idea, right? Because like CC, it was clear when you talked, like you care about arts, culture, and music, right? That's something that you care about, right? So it's like, this is what's motivating you. This is what's driving you. This is what's going to push you. And I think that when people get the opportunity to talk to an investor, if you want to prolong the conversation, and if you want to stick out, you have to sell yourself as much as you do the idea. Sure. Because, I mean, the ideas in a lot of cases are kind of undifferentiated. The people are highly differentiated.
Can I add something to that, just to put it in a slightly different way? I think investors are typically trying to find the one characteristic of your business that is going to take you above and beyond all the other businesses out there. the ideas, like you said, I mean, ideas are usually very, very common. You need to think about finding either you have some technology that is better than somebody else's, and in having a technology that is different or better than Google's or Amazon is going to be tough, right? Having a go-to-market strategy that is differentiated, that is different than theirs, or having a team that is going to be better than theirs. I think the team also, to say you are going to have a better team than Google or Amazon, you have to be careful with that. I'm not saying that you couldn't, but you have to be able to make the point.
Sure.
Usually, a startup has a better shot, a better chance with a differentiated go-to-market strategy. When you're competing against big established businesses in their territory, it's different in other spaces, but in that case, so I think you're right. I think your team needs to be exceptional. You need to say why, but then talk about the go-to-market strategy, because that is the one place where
honestly, what our company does, our product is awesome, but the differentiator is our team and our go-to-market. They're the two big ones. Travis, what were you going to say? Will you stand up? Because they're sorry. That's all right.
So I'm curious, how many customers do you have? Because I just look at your website, and as a developer, it looks like you have a lot of sort of back office.
So we have built a number of bots on the platform, and we are reaching out to customers and onboarding them.
So I feel like if you actually pitch this to like a large enterprise, you're in a space that's hot, and you have what looks like a nice product. So how can you get yourself in front of the biggest company possible?
So
Because if you have a project with a big company, this conversation can totally.
That's right.
yeah, traction is the one thing that trumps everything too. Technology, team, go-to-market, it doesn't matter if you're growing fast. Nobody cares who you are, what kind of technology you have. They see the results, and
that's your
what they want.
that's your resume.
So that's where we are focusing on right now.
Like, hey, I'm working with J3 to help them with their personal shoppers to automate that whole process. Different story.
Totally.
Yes,
And
and we are in the process of it right now, getting some customers onboarded.
It's good. Way to go, man.
All right, thank
It was
you.
good.
Thank you.
Wonderful.